Hey everybody, I had to take today off. So what I wanted to do is to just kind of run through the Unit 7 textbook assignment. Today's going to be a reading day, so you have time to work and prep and get ready for the for the reading quiz. So this will get us started with the new unit. I have a date for the reading quiz as Monday, May 24th. So that's when we're going to be starting our last unit assessment. So that's the plan to kind of start the process. This one's going to be noticeably easier. It's only one chapter. That should be a benefit to most people. If you click on textbook assignment, this is going to look exactly like all the other ones have looked. You can take notes on here and use them for the quiz. Chapter 56 is on the Vietnam War, and this is the list right here. It's pretty straightforward. The problem is that the Vietnam War is a complex story, and there's lots of information that goes into it. So the chapter starts with kind of the beginnings of U.S. involvement, and actually, when we get involved, the French are colonizing Vietnam after World War II, and they're fighting in Vietnam against Ho Chi Minh and the people that are trying to push them out of the country. The US gets involved because of concerns about the spread of communism. And so this is where the domino theory comes in, right? We're worried that if Vietnam becomes communist, then it'll spread to neighboring countries and keep going, right? So this is all part of that same, if you go back to what we talked about with the Cold War, that containment strategy, this is all part of that same narrative, right? We're trying to keep communism from spreading. So as you go through here, you'll see at first we're helping the French and trying to support them. When they lose at the Battle of Dien Bien Phu, then the U.S. gets involved. And then the story, once the U.S. directly starts sending troops into Vietnam, the story becomes how do we try to manage this escalating war? And so some of the big topics here, the Gulf of Tonkin incident and the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, are going to be kind of that turning point where you start to really see the escalation of U.S. troops, more and more troops sent in. This is also when the anti-war movement kind of starts to intensify. So from there, they talk about just what the war looks like and how U.S. troops are trying to manage fighting guerrilla warfare in the jungles of Vietnam. We go through a couple of different presidents over the course of this time period. John F. Kennedy, it starts with Eisenhower, then John F. Kennedy, then Lyndon Johnson succeeds him when Kennedy is assassinated. And then the end of the war happens when Richard Nixon is president. So this is a long-lasting war and something that is kind of important to understand. So as we move through the chapter, it will also talk about some of the issues that affect people in the United States on the home front. And like I said, we get into the anti-war movement. Towards the end of this section is really kind of the downward spiral of the Vietnam War, including the Kent State Massacre, and there's another one in Jackson State. So this is National Guard troops shooting U.S. students who are protesting. We have the My Lai Massacre that happens in Vietnam, and that becomes kind of a black eye for the United States. And this ends on Nixon going after a guy named Daniel Ellsberg for releasing information about the war effort to the public. So there's a bunch of information here. Again, you click on this link and it'll bring you to our chapter. This one should be fairly doable and not overwhelming. And hopefully that's a nice change for you. So that's all I have for you. Use your time, be productive today. We're going into the weekend, so if you still haven't submitted your unit assessment from the Civil Rights Unit, those are technically due on Sunday, but the sooner you can get things done, the sooner you can move forward. So be as productive as possible today, and I will see everybody again on Tuesday. Have a good afternoon.